everyone, this will be a video where I talk live, so no voiceover today, because I will be making a video sharing some thoughts on Sistress Markers. I got my Sistress Markers 2 days ago and I played around with them a lot this weekend. So I just bought this package of 12 and I tried out what you can do with them. And I find that I'm kind of a bit disappointed about them. I know many people love them and they say it's easy to use them and they give good colors and all of that. In fact, it's a lot of fun to play with them. I used them all weekend long because I really wanted to give them a chance, and I will be using them in the future because yes, it is fun. But you have to think about some things if you use them. One thing is, what I find is that they are like watercolor pencils. So if you use them on your paper, what is happening is that you see the strokes where you use them. Some of the colors do not react with the water very good. For example, Gather Tricks. This is one of the colors that does hardly react with the water, and I was not totally happy with this one. In fact, it's kind of a grayish brown. I did not have Gather Tricks as an ink pad before because I have brushed corduroy and this is my favorite brown color by far. So if I ever buy a new brown Sistress marker, I will try the brushed corduroy and tell you if this works better. The other one that does not react very well with water is the ice spruce. I was totally disappointed about that because ice spruce is kind of a blue greenish gray and it does react with water, and then it's kind of a cold gray, no blue or green left, and you can see the strokes very well with this one. I had a funny thing happening with red persimmon, another color that I do not have the ink pad from. For my orange things I use, what is it? Let me have a look. I use spiced marmalade, yes. And when I saw the cap of this color, I thought that ripe persimmon is very close to the bright spiced marmalade. You color with that on your paper and it's orange, and then you touch it with your water brush. And what happens is it gets kind of a coral color. And I will be trying out the paper that I used all weekend long. This is, for my card bases, this is not very sturdy, but it's just okay for card bases. This is an extra compta card file. I buy them at the Staples store. And it's a very smooth paper. This is what I love about it. The surface is very close to Nina and coloring on that works very well. So this is why I use it all the time. But to be fair to those markers, I will also use some watercolor paper that I usually don't use because I don't like the texture. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, I want to show you the funny thing about the ripe persimmon that I found, that it gets coral. So let's take the little squirrel now. So this is textured. I guess you can see it. So I'm not sure how this is turning out with stamping on it. Give it some pressure. Yes, very nice. Okay, so thanks Annie for this. So I can now try if I like this watercolor paper more than I do like mine. So what I usually do is I go in all the areas that I want to be darker. Right, so let's add some shadows. Oh, important, that one. Okay, I usually use browns and oranges when I color the squirrel, but I just want to show you what I think about those markers. Okay, I hope I don't talk funny because this is live and sometimes I retake some of the stuff that I say. So you can see it does not blend very well and it gets very weak where you move the color. So you move the color around and it's very weak and it's kind of coral right now. It seems to be orange still where you put the marker directly onto that piece. Okay, let's do the second one on the watercolor paper and see if this makes a big difference. Okay, because as I said, we want to be fair to those markers. I don't want to tell you they're not worth money if it's wrong, you know. I just want to really try out. Okay, the first thing that I see is that the memento did not dry that quick, so it all smears around on that watercolor paper. Good to know. Okay. So let's, oh, sorry, I smeared that. I hope you can see it. It's not very orange anymore, especially where you move the color. It's, yeah, it is coral. So sorry about that. It looks nice, but the color is very weak. You had to go over and over it again. So, the right persimmon does not make me happy, I have to tell you. And I know many people say it's so easy to blend the color, just use it on your acrylic block and then use your water brush, take the color and go over your image. Of course I could do that, but what's the point of getting the markers? Because this technique is what I always did with my distress inks, and I have many distress inks, not all of them. As I said, I do not have the right persimmon or the gather twigs, but I have a few oranges, a few browns, and all of these colors. Yes, in fact, I do not have the purple ones. So, I don't think this does make any sense. Why should I use the markers if that means I have to put them onto an acrylic block anyway? I can use my distress inks because they hold more color and I have them anyway. So if I want to use the markers, it's because I can use them directly onto the paper and then color it with them. I'm so sorry, I did not do this very carefully. I just wanted to show you that the color is changing, and after it dries it really gets some kind of pink on that. I hope the camera shows it. It really is. Yeah, let me show you. This was the color before, and now especially on his tail there are some areas that look quite pink. So this is funny, and I'm kind of disappointed, as I said. So this is my evergreen bow ink pad. This is what I always did. I just smooshed it onto an acrylic block. And of course this is darker. So there's more intensity if you use the ink pads directly, just because they do give much more ink. And I think this gives the better result. So I like using the markers because just it's fun, because I love to use a marker on my images like I do with the Copics. You can see I played around a bit. At first I thought that the strokes would not be as strong on the watercolor paper, but I think this was just the color that I picked because the seedless preserves do not leave any strokes. Nearly all the color reacts with the water, which is very pretty, and you do have strokes with the other colors. But I still find that you get the best results using the ink pads. This is just for fun, just because using markers on your image is fun, so this is what I would recommend them for. But in fact, if you want to get a very smooth coloring and a very smooth ombre effect shading on your images, I would prefer to just use the distress inks, press them onto your acrylic block and use that. I know some people use the distress markers directly on their stems. This is something I don't do anyway. I have some of the big brush pens from Faber-Castell, which are very good for coloring your image and stamping them, but I don't use them because if I want a colored image, I usually don't have one image that I want to have in different colors. There are very, very few images that I would like to color with different inks. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. I don't say the distress markers are bad quality. I don't think they are. They are good quality for sure, and they do work, but this is only if you want to have some darker shadows and some very light areas, just as you can see here. And if you want an intense color, I prefer the ink pads. This is just something I wanted to share because I know many people are totally excited about their distress markers. So maybe you think I just used them wrong. Just let me know, because I'm new to them and I'm happy to learn. However, I will probably buy a few more of them just because it's fun. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and let me see what you can do with your distress markers and our Create a Smile stamps. I'm really happy to see that. Thanks so much for watching.